Hey everyone, Sim Farmer here and welcome back to Hutan Pantai for the next episode in our Let's Play series. So in the first one we harvested our 3 fields of rice and which we took to the grain mill to sell, which gave us a little bit of income from that. And we also got some water into the mushroom greenhouse, which we've now got our first full pallet. I have changed the settings so it is only now working on the one type of mushroom, which is the enoki mushrooms. I don't know if it's the same. I haven't tested it yet. But in FS22, if you had multiple things running in productions, it actually reduced the efficiency. So I've just switched it to the one type for now until I can test it. So we do have our first full pallet of 1,000 litres of enoki mushrooms. We also have our first full pallet of rice saplings. I'm not sure how many we'll need to replant these 3 fields with rice for next year. That's not a job we need to do until spring, so we give plenty of time to get some more pallets. And we can sell these as well. There is a sell price for them, and I think it's around about 6,000 per 1,000 litres. But there is only 24 pieces, which I think is considered 24 litres. We've currently got 18 litres in the greenhouse. It would take a lot of these pallets to get 1,000 litres by the looks of it. I say I'm not sure how many we'll actually need for the fields ourselves, but if we do have any left over, once we've done all the planting, we can sell those as well. The spreader I returned because I don't think we're going to need that again for lime. So yeah, we are now into September, and one of the first jobs we're going to do is actually buy a new field, as we do have the massive Ferguson combine there, which at the moment we don't really have any use for. So field 25, which is just down the road from our farm, is a field of sorghum which is ready to harvest. So we're going to purchase that. Now it does cost 120,264, so we will need to take out a loan to be able to do that. So if we go to the finances tab, and then we can borrow the money. I'm going to borrow enough to cover the cost of the field in its entirety, because I feel like we're going to need some more money for equipment, seed, fertilizer and stuff. So we'll take out a loan of 120,000, which is roughly enough to cover the cost of the field. It is a shame the loan system is pretty much the same as previous games. I was really hoping for a more advanced loan system. And I would like as well that we could get a full year breakdown of finances at the end of every year, rather than just getting this short segment of what's that, 5 months that we can see at any one time. It would be nice to see a complete breakdown of your entire year. So you can kind of see what you've spent, how much you've made off the different things, and see how your farm's actually doing financially. So yeah, that would have been nice to see a bit more in-depth financial system for the loans and stuff, but it is what it is. I'm sure we might get the enhanced loan mod again at some point, which is a great mod for FS22. Really liked using that one. So yeah, we'll get the combine down to field 25. Didn't actually check what the state of the field was, so hopefully it's not too bad. Hopefully it's not full of weeds, got no fertilizer, needs ploughing and needs lime. It is a bit misty down here this morning. As I said, we do have rain on the forecast, so I'll try and get this field done pretty quick. Get my buttons muddled up then. So I'm just going to set a worker off to start with. Field, no, oh yeah. I need to actually buy the field first, don't I? That would help. Take out the loan to be able to purchase the field, and then I didn't actually buy it. There we go. Trying to harvest somebody else's field then. Right. Leave the worker to carry on with that for a bit while we get the lizard dragon so we can unload the combine into it. So we still have these 2 fields that require ploughing, and all fields need ploughing. I can't remember. The rice sapling ones I don't think we need to worry about until next year, but I would like to try and get some crops planted this month so they can start growing, so possibly some barley or wheat or something like that. I've gone completely past where I wanted to go. Me too busy talking. We want the dragon. So yeah, we've got the ploughing to do, but it's not essential we get them all done like soon, because we're not going to be putting anything in some of the fields until spring, so we've got plenty of time to get those done. But I would like to try and get some barley in, possibly, so we've got a crop, then we can get some chicken feed, so we can get maybe a small chicken coop, so we can get some egg production. One thing I did notice as well, on the start farm, there is a beehive here which shows up on the map, and I can click on it and sell it, but I couldn't find a pallet spawn point for honey. I'm not being getting a warning saying that there was nowhere to spawn, so I did put down a beehive pallet spawn point just here. So I don't know if we'll actually get any honey from that beehive. But I thought I'd just put one down and see. As time progresses, we'll see if we actually get any honey from that set of beehives there or not. I'm going to say normally it only allows you to put one pallet spawn point down. It wasn't saying I couldn't put one down. That's so weird, that low-lying mist down in that dip. I almost thought that was like water then. It was like a lake or something. Alright, so let's go and jump in the combine. We'll get this field harvested. We'll store it in the silo for now, because I think the best price for sorghum isn't until December, January time. And I think it's around about 200 per 1,000 litres less at the moment. So that's a reasonable difference between the prices. So we'll hold on to it until possibly winter, and then we'll sell it. Let's get into the Massey, which is a very nice combine. Some nice detail down there with all the belts. All the movement in the actual combine. It's a very, very nice model, very nice detailed. It's a shame this is the only like smaller, older style combine in the game, as it's the same combine on both maps for the start farm. It would have been nice to have a slightly different one on each map. But yeah, as we already have this combine, we may as well get some use out of it this year, rather than it just sitting there idle. And actually, we're already 38% full, so what is the yield on this field? There's plus 83%, so 100% fertilised. It does have partial weeds in, which has obviously brought that down a little bit. But yeah, that's not too bad. 83% yield. Much better than the rice. That was only about 27%. Okay, so we are almost done with the sorghum. Just this tiny little bit left to do. It's getting, seems to be getting more misty as we're going on. I can't even see the other end of the field. I was hoping it might clear up a little bit. But we've managed to get it done before the rain comes, although it is only on ×1 currently. I should have sped that up a little bit. So we'll finish this little bit off. The dragon's full, so we'll need to get that unloaded, then we can get the combine unloaded. into the silo. So I think there's 7,600 litres for a full load in the Dragon. There's what, 15,000 plus the 2.5, so what about 17,600 litres or so, I think, in total off this field. Get that parked there. We're going to jump in the Dragon and get that unloaded, finish unloading the combine, and that's this field done. So it doesn't require lime or ploughing, which is nice. So we'll possibly look at getting the long grain rice planted in this field next year, so that won't be a job we need to do until spring. So we can possibly look at mulching the field. There's one thing I'll check actually, is the actual field state after harvesting. It is actually showing as mulched, which is what I was suspecting. So I think crops that you don't leave straw. So when I harvested the wheat on Riverbend Springs, I left the straw swath. It didn't show up as mulch, but the canola field showed as mulch after harvesting. There's a few bits missing. It was where the combine's not great. So it looks like the chopped straw or chopped crop coming out the back of the combine now adds a layer of mulch to the actual field. So we don't need to mulch that one separately. Did it do that for the rice fields? Yes, it did as well. So the rice fields are partially mulched. There's a few gaps where it's obviously missed coming out the back of the harvester. And it's also got a first layer of fertilizer across that field as well. It's interesting. So yeah, we don't need to mulch. Those fields are low. What was the state of that field? So that one's cultivated, the one's played, so there's no crop in there to mulch anyway. So yeah, it doesn't look like we, although you look at what's left of the crop, you would think you would mulch that down as well. So it's a bit interesting that they've changed the way mulching works. So we don't need to do that extra job now for those crops by the looks of it. Whether that's intended, you never know. With it still being an early access version, there is subject to change. So I know in Fs25 there were some features that didn't work correctly when the game launched, and it wasn't until after the first update that or one of the earlier updates, that they were implemented properly. I think stones and the way rolling worked didn't quite work correctly in 22 on launch. So yeah, but that's interesting that we kind of get the chop straw mod built in. Rather than a layer of fertilizer, it adds a layer of mulch to the actual field. That potentially gives us that slight little bit of a yield boost without having to go over the field with a mulcher. So we'll get the sorghum into the silo, and then we can look what next. So possibly looking to get one of these fields ploughed so we can get some barley planted into one of the two fields up here, or possibly in both fields. Make it a little bit easier. But I must say, the more I play the game, the more I'm really liking it. And a lot of little things you don't quite notice at first, and you start to notice the differences more between this and Fs25. So yeah, I'm enjoying it so far. It's good. I think the more I play it, the more it's better it's going to get. There's some aspects I'm not particularly keen on. Say I would like to better loan system, more in-depth finances in the game. But yeah, they're minor things that we can do without. Let's get our combine put away. And I'll get the sorghum into the silo, then we can move on to our next job for today. Okay, so the sorghum is all in the silo, and we got 17,635 litres in total. As you can see, the best price is January. It's currently showing, which previously was 682. We're currently down here, so 517 is currently the best price at the Harbour Grain elevator, which, yeah, it's a significant difference that we might as well hold on to the sorghum until price increases. So I think next job I need to go and pick up the plough from the store. I forgot we left there. We'll get these 2 fields ploughed, and then I think I'm going to plant both of them in barley for next year's harvest. That'll be all the crops done for in our own fields for this side of winter. Okay, so I picked up the plough from the store. I also reconfigured the tractor as well, so it's now the 8810. It was the 8510, which was only 150 something horsepower, so it's now the full 225 this one can beat. Which might have been the reason why the tractor was struggling a little bit last time with the lime spreader on, especially when I was trying to come up that little hill there. So let's turn on the guided steering, so assisted steering. So this one is set up headlands of 5 automatic. It's automatically set up a side offset of 0.6 and shows line, but I don't know how well this is going to work in terms of reversing the plough. I'll give it a go anyway and see what happens. See which way it's going to go. You can see the new ploughing textures, how it's left that big rut at the side. I think it's on the headland as well at the moment, so it's kind of following around one of the headland rows, not the up down. So I might just do this manually. I think it might be a bit easier. So far it's kind of followed the texture, the direction of the tractor. Yeah, but one thing I do like the guidance steering thing, but it would be nice to be able to just lock the tractor into the direction you're going at any one point rather than set up the course. Just have that option to just lock it into the direction you're travelling. That's one thing I liked about the enhanced vehicle control mode, that you could just do that. You didn't have to set up a course or anything. You just drive in the direction, you lock it in, and it'll fix it to that heading. So I do like the fact that they've now got this rut that you put your tyres in to follow. It does look very nice. They are massively improved textures for ploughing, especially with that little bit of deformation there as well. It does look very nice. Yeah, having that little rut there to put your wheels in to follow seems like it does a reasonable job. Although, yeah, it would be nice if they did have the bit more multi-angle terrain, because it looks like we're still a bit limited to set directions for textures. And you see where it kind of curves off a little bit there, it's not, the actual texture itself is not following that. But yeah, we'll get these 2 fields done, then we can look at getting the barley planted. I don't know if we actually have any seed already, whether there's any in the drill or not, so we might have to go and buy some. And I think it possibly might be handy if we can get a small tractor with front loader attachment and just get a small flatbed trailer as well, because I think that would be very handy to use. So we're going to need something like that soon anyway to load up the pallets. So we're going to have the mushrooms to load up, possibly some honey pallets if they do spawn. If not, we might put a few more beehives in around the place. So yeah, I think it might be definitely worth getting a second tractor that can take a front loader attachment. for that. So that's something we'll look at. We may need to increase our loan a little bit to do that, unless there's something in the used equipment sales that's affordable. But before we look at that, we'll get this field and the other field ploughed. Okay, so there's the first field ploughed. I'm just going to double check, as it was already ploughed anyway. I'll show the ploughed texture, but requires ploughing. Make sure we haven't missed any bits. So let's yeah, so we want that one. Yeah, so it's all done. So we've got that field to do. Those 3 fields we can do in spring. So we'll do this one next, and then we can get the barley planted. Okay, so the ploughing has all been finished. Both fields are done. So we're just down at the store. So used equipment sales, doesn't look like there's anything of any use. Definitely nothing we can really make use of there. So I'm going to have a look at small tractors. So we want something fairly small, that not too bad price wise, that can take a front loader. I've got the John Deere 3650 on Riverbend Spring, so try and use something different. Looks like that's the cheapest option, 45,000. We've got the little Massey Ferguson 5700S, 92,500. Passarian 47,410, 91. I don't really want a great one. The Proxima HS, can this have a front loader? Yes, it can. It's 76 horsepower. We can boost that up to 117. I'll add an extra 20,500, take it up to 82,000. With some buoy tyres on, front loader attachment, that would be 84,000 for that one. Yeah, I think that's probably going to be cheaper than these 93 for 90 horsepower. If we was to boost that up around about the same, 135, 145, 155. So we can go up to 155 with that one, with 132,000, about an extra 40,000 for not much more horsepower. I think we'll actually go with the Zeta. I don't tend to use Zeta tractors very often, so nice to use something a little bit different. I'm trying to think if is it worth going up to an extra 20,500? I don't know if we keep it the 80 for now. We can always change it later if need be. I will put some wide tyres on it though, and we definitely want the front loader attachment. So it's only 63,500. I say we can also obviously upgrade it if we need to in the future. Let's get a front loader attachment for that, which I think possibly we'll go with a 6M. It gives us a little bit more room. Oh, we do not have enough money. I need to go and visit the bank manager. Right, let's borrow. Let's take up to 150 for now. So we'll get that one. Let's purchase that, and then we'll get a set of pallet forks for it. And then what I also want to get is the menu, small trailer that we can configure as a bale trailer as well. I think that's probably going to be the best option for now, the farm tech, because we can also get a second one of these if need be. So we'll buy one of those as well. And then we just want some consumables. So we'll get some. We'll go with the pallets because you get 50 extra litres for the same price as a big bag. So I think 2 should be more than enough for now. I also think, should we get some fertiliser while we're here? No, I think we can just pick that up when we get a fertiliser spreader. We're going to need to fertilise both fields. So yeah, we'll get this all set up and get back to the farm. We can fill up the drill and then get those 2 fields planted with barley. Okay, so back at the farm, we'll get the drill filled. I'm not sure how many seeds this takes. I can't remember from Riverbend Springs. We should have more than enough though to do both of these fields of seed. 1,270 litres to fill it. And we are set on barley. So yeah, we'll start off with this field just over the road. There are small stones in this field. Yeah, for some reason the first field we ploughed didn't bring up any stones at all. We just take a look at the field state. So yeah, no stones came up in that one. I don't know if that's because it was already set as a ploughed field. But we've only got small stones that came up in this one, and yeah, only towards this end. There's quite a big bare patch there and a couple. So we don't need to worry about the stones. We can possibly look at getting a roller, although there's not much options in the terms of rollers in the game currently. I am aware that Giants will be adding some additional equipment via content updates and also as mods on ModHub. So we might get some more rollers added soon. And some of the categories as well, they are lacking a little bit in options for equipment. And I don't think it'll be too long before we start getting some mods come through as well, but I do want to try and use as much as the stuff that's included in the base game before we start utilising mods, because you end up just using a lot of mods then. Don't really do much with the base game equipment. So yeah, we'll get these fields done and then we might have a look, see if we can do a contract or two to get a bit of money back in the bank account. We do need to get a fertiliser spreader or sprayer or something to apply fertiliser to our fields. Okay, so that is the barley all planted. Just have a look. So yeah, these both fields require rolling. We've got a bird that's kind of just didn't move at all. I think I drove over it several times. As we look, frozen in one spot, but it is moving. I haven't killed it. Yeah, so that's both fields planted with barley. They both do require rolling. We could do with rolling the other field to get rid of the stones, but I don't think small stones are going to cause too much of an issue. While we're going past, we may as well use some more of that pallet. So, yeah, we didn't need 2 pallets. We barely used, what, more than 100 litres of seed. That's our first 2 crops in the ground. I'm just trying to decide whether it's worth actually getting some rollers, because say there's only 2 options. We could lease these. I don't think it'd cost too much to lease them, to be honest. 2,371. Yeah, we might as well. We'll give them a go. I'll go and pick the rollers up. We'll get those 2 fields rolled, and then I'll possibly have a look at seeing if we can do a contract that might be worth doing. Have a look, see what's available, just to try and get a little bit of money back in the bank account, because all we're doing at the moment is spending. I will start off with the field that's got the stones in. It would be nice if there was some smaller options. This is quite a big set of rollers, like 12.3 meters or so. It's not going to take too long to do this field, or both fields at all. Start at the edge of the field. You can see some new textures for the rolled field state. And we are removing the small stones as well. It's super handy. So I don't think small stones would have caused too much of an issue if we'd have left them. I'm not even sure exactly what the kind of yield increase is for rolling, mulching and stuff. I don't think it'll show. So that's yield bonus 52%. So yeah, it looks like it just adds 2% like previously. So probably, well, it was 2.5%, but it only showed us 2. So mulching was 2.5, rolling 2.5 to get that extra 5% that you needed to get from 95 to 100. Would have been nice if that increased it a little bit. But we are technically in this field at least doing 2 jobs at once. We're rolling the seed in to get better contact with the soil to increase germination. Which obviously isn't a thing in game, but that's what you would do in real life. And we're also removing the stones. So that's going to help reduce a bit of wear on the header when we come to harvest, not having the stones in the field. I do like the new textures, they're rather nice. I don't think rolling contracts are a thing. I know the contract system's completely different now, like baling contracts previously where you did like a mowing contract for baling. You had to mow the grass first, then rake it up or ted it, depending whether you was doing hay or silage, and then bale it up or wrap the bales. It's all different now, so it's like each individual section of that job is a separate contract. So you can get just baling contracts where all you do is actually bale up the field, nothing else. So I did one in the live stream last night where we baled up a field of straw. So you don't get any excess bales anymore, is a shame. So those lucrative silage baling contracts we used to get are no longer a thing. So the bale wrapping aspect is now a separate contract on its own, along with tedding and just baling in general. So it does add more options for contracts, and does break up those contracts a little bit as well, so you haven't got quite a big long-winded contract to do. It was quite a long process having to cut the grass, then potentially rake it or ted it, rake it, bale it, and then deliver the bales as well. So there is none of that now. So you don't have to deliver the bales, you just take your baler into the field, bale up the swaths that it's in the field, and when you get to 100%, that's it, contract complete. You just accept the contract and the bales all disappear. So yeah, I'm not sure if I'm overly keen on that system. I much prefer the old one, I think. It's probably another one of those features that you'll get used to over time, that you're going to get so used to it that you forget that it was different in previous versions. So yeah, we'll get this finished off and then we'll have a look at the contract system, see if there's a contract worth getting that can just get us a little bit more money then to cover the cost of getting a fertiliser spreader, some fertiliser as well, because we do need to get some fertiliser on these fields. Okay, so that's the rolling all done. So we just need to fertilise these fields now, and they will be fully ready, or the best yield we can possibly get other than mulching, which wasn't an option this time round. So again, yeah, 52% yield bonus. So once we get the 2 rounds of fertiliser, should take it up to that 97%. So we're just missing that last few percent from the mulching. So as there was no crop to mulch in either of those fields, that's not something we could do this time. So I'm going to keep hold of the rollers, because we will have more crops to do in the future, or more fields to roll. But we do really need to start trying to make a little bit of money. At the moment we've spent quite a lot and we haven't actually made much, apart from selling the one load of rice we did on the first episode. Let's take a look at the actual contracts and see what is available. So we've got, as I said, the contracts are all broken up now into different categories. So we've got cultivating deadwood. So that one's similar to the platinum expansion, where you go and remove some trees. So you just cut down some trees in the forest. And you just say you can sell them afterwards, but if everyone remembers from Silver Run Forest, they were pretty worthless. I imagine it's the same. So we've got fertilising contracts, harvesting, we've got ploughing, spraying, stone picking, wood transport. There's obviously different categories that are available, but they're just not showing up because there's no jobs currently available for those. So definitely don't want to do ploughing contract, as we've already done some ploughing. We're going to try and do a harvesting contract. So that one is 7,325. Field 14, harvesting green beans, which is one of the new crops. We borrow the equipment. We could get to use some of the new equipment. And it needs to be delivered down to here. So it's not too far to go. So I think we'll borrow the items for that. And yeah, we'll go and do that. It's not worth a huge amount, but it's a bit of extra money that could cover the cost of the leasing costs for some of our equipment, and also get some fertilizer and stuff. So I'm going to head down there and get the equipment, then we'll head over to field 14 and do some harvesting in the new equipment. It's gone a little bit misty again. I bought over the Fendt tractor that we've also got of the borrowed equipment for the contract, which is now disappeared into the mist. It wasn't that misty over by this field. We still have the rain due on the forecast at some point, so we may have to stop the harvest. We make our way through the mist. Let's get this unfolded. So this is the Oxbo, that's that BP 2140E, the green bean harvester. And away we go, field 14. It's a fairly decent sized field, and actually it looks a bit bigger when you get to it than it did on the map. So yeah, it looks like it might be a lot of work for was it 7,000 for the contract. So hopefully the contract system works similar to 22, where we will get a bit of excess crop to sell on top of what we need for the contract. But so far we are only 1% full, so yes, it looks like it's going to take a while to fill the harvester. With these big expensive machinery, it's a nice way to actually be able to try them out, or you can afford to buy them yourselves in the is doing a contract. So it does look very nice in here, and looks a very nice detailed model. I'm missing bits. So yeah, we'll try at some point try out spinach as well, and peas, as well as we've got the other crops and the new animals as well, goats and water buffalo. So definitely water buffalo on this map I would like to try and get at some point. So we definitely could look at trying to work towards getting some of those and see what they're like. Well, yeah, we are 6% full. So yeah, it's going to take a while to do the contract. Also, it looks like it's going to take a while to actually fill the harvester. But we shall persevere and just hope it's worth it in the end. Okay, so we are 97% full on our very, very first load. So I'm yet to completely fill the actual harvester. So we are 51% on the actual contract complete now. It did start raining during the contract, but it didn't say that we couldn't continue harvesting. So it didn't seem to be affected by rain. So I continued and ploughed on, or harvested on. So yeah, we are now completely full. So we're going to put this into the trailer. We've still got, let's say, probably another full load to go. So it's going to be around about 30,000 litres in total off this field. So we are only just about 51% done. Still a lot to harvest, and this has taken quite a while. One of those contracts, and like, Yeah, that sounds good, but I'm just thinking how long it's going to have taken me, whether it was actually worth it. I suppose that will all depend on how much excess we actually get, whether we can actually get a decent amount extra on top of the actual contract to make it worth it. There we go. The harvester unloaded. Green beans, well, not our green beans. It's one thing we need, camera collision mod. Or a way to disable camera collision like we had in the additional game settings mod for FS25. But yeah, I'm going to carry on with this. As I say, it's going to probably take a while. Lock it into this row. Oh, I missed a bit. I want to try and get every single green bean we can. But yeah, I might be here for a while. I did disable the GPS then when I went backwards. Yeah, so I shall continue, and yeah, hopefully it won't take too much longer. And we can get this delivered and see how much we make off this contract in total, with any excess potentially. There we go, we're on the last little bit of green beans. So once we get this harvested, we can get it in the trailer and then take it down to the sell point, which is down towards the bottom of the map. I can't remember what it was called again. But yeah, it looks like we'll head through the actual town area. So we can see what that's like, because I haven't actually been down that part of the map yet. But there we go, I think there's one tiny little bit we'll just get on the edge of the field as we head back down towards the trailer. Yeah, that took a little bit longer than I was anticipating it would. The field's definitely a little bit bigger than I thought it was going to be. It does seem like a lot of harvesting just for 7,000, so yeah, we'll have to see whether it is actually worth it. I'm not actually sure what the capacity of this trailer is, so I don't know if this is all going to fit in. Yeah, we're only 40% full, so yeah, all fit in fine. So 80% on the contract, which is the harvesting part. So the final 20% is delivering the green beans. Just get this folded up, and we'll mark it up out the way. And we'll take the crop down to the actual sell point, which the best way to go looks like probably carry straight on the way we're heading down that road and then through the town. So let's try and make our way down there and get this delivered and see how much we actually get excess wise. So we get around about 7,000 for the contract, which takes up to about 20. So if we can get a decent amount on top of that, it won't be too bad. That should be enough to get a fertiliser spreader for next time and some fertilisers so we can get those fields of barley fertilised. And then if we do get the fertiliser spreader, we can possibly look see if there's any fertilising contracts to do as well. We'll get a little bit of money back towards that at the same time. So yeah, I've seen some videos of the town area, this built-up area, small city town. Sure exactly what it's supposed to be. But this is the first time I've actually drove into it or had a look around since I've been on this map. One thing I haven't done is have a good look around the map yet. Literally just been playing it as we go. So it looks like we've only one way we can go here. Yeah, it does look like there's a few people around. One thing I did think it was possibly going to be that it was just going to be like a ghost town. Have all these buildings with like shiny lights on them, but then there's nobody around. There seems to be there's quite a few people walking around. But yeah, it still looks very lifeless. Not one single car on the road or anything. It's a little bit of a shame. So if we go down here, turn left and then right, and we should be able to get to where we need to go. So yeah, left again here, and that should take us into the harbour area. That's a big ship. The Star Muesli. The Phello ship. Right, where is the delivery point? It looks like that grid there. So we'll get this delivered. So hopefully we get a fairly decent amount excess. It did take me a while to do that contract, to be honest. Let's see. Watch this now, we'll probably get the bare minimum. I do like that at the top now, obviously, because it shows the actual contract. We can see exactly when you get to the point. So an extra 5,313 from harvesting income, so that's not too bad. Plus the actual contract itself. We'll leave the tractor there, because obviously we're going to complete the contract. Going to kick us out of it. So active contracts complete. So with the minus for the borrowing the equipment, so 6,545 plus the 5,000 we got excess crops, so that's over 11,000. So that wasn't too bad. So we'll collect that, and that is done. So that takes up to 24,990, and that brings us to the end of this video. So next time we'll probably get the fertilizer spreader, so we can get some fertilizer spread on those 2 barley fields and get that job done. Then we'll probably skip through to October and see what other jobs we can do. Maybe some more contracts. Find out some of the different stuff and see what we can do. And I'm yet to find a collectible yet. I have no idea what the collectibles look like on this map. So I probably wouldn't even know unless they're glaringly obvious. I don't see anything around here unless I'm completely missed it. But yeah, we'll leave it there for this episode. Hope you have enjoyed it. If you have, then please don't forget to give it a thumbs up. I really do appreciate that. If you're not yet subscribed to the channel and you've made it this far through the video, big thank you for watching. Please consider subscribing. We're going to have more Farm Simulator 25 content coming up with this series, the time-lapse series, and also the live streams as well. So again, big thank you for watching. I'll see you on the next one. Take care. Goodbye. I've got to walk home now, haven't I? I've got no vehicle to get home. So on my walk home, I did find a collectible. Oh, 10,000 for each one. There's 24 more to go. So there we go. Little glowing orbs. Anyway, yeah, I've still got to walk home. So see you in the next one.